Hello everybody, welcome to Aerofly FS2. This is the Aerofly debut on the Flight Sim Deck channel. And we're using the Oculus Rift, and we're in the Bay Area of Northern California at Half Moon Bay. And we're going to depart VFR and just fly around the city of San Francisco and then come back in to Half Moon Bay. So just a quick flight. I wanted to upload the full flight so you guys can see what this simulator is all about. I've been wanting to check it out for a while, and I would always forget about it. It just wouldn't cross my mind to download it. So when I was at Flight Sim Expo recently, I remember seeing their booth and was standing there watching a few of the little, I think they had some videos playing, and it just reminded me about Aerofly. So I didn't know too much about it, so I just wanted to download it and check it out. It's $60, and I don't have any payware added to this. This is all how it comes. I just have a couple of little free DLCs added on. I think I got the pack for Colorado and high definition textures, and also the Dash 8. They give you several planes. You get the Cessna 172. Each one has different deliveries. You get a Pitts S2S. You get a 747, 737, 400. I think you get a F-15, F-18. You get a decent variety of planes, and they're not really study level, which I haven't checked out all of them yet, as far as check them out in detail. I think I've probably tried out each plane for several minutes, but I haven't really checked them out in detail. But what you're going to get here is some really amazing visuals, and if nothing else, this would be just a fantastic simulator to pull out when you want to do some VFR, because I've noticed things are really true to life with this if you're following landmarks that are on the ground. So we're approaching runway 30. We're going to hold short right here. The controls didn't take too long to get used to, just a few minutes. They're just a little more sensitive, so you just use the inputs a little less. Getting the landing lights on and the strobe, mixture full rich. And we're just going to go out of here. But it looks so realistic. It's extremely true to life, as you're going to see. This is quite an amazing experience. So I'm just going to take off here. All right, we're going to throttle up. Knots, 70, and rotate. Just going to fly the runway heading for a moment, and we're just going to stay along the coast and go up to about 2,000 feet. Now, what I like about it, it's not just photoreal scenery, is that they actually have everything, every part of the land, every building is kind of formed the way it should, every mountain, and that is what's really impressive about this. And again, this is no payware scenery, this is what you get with it, and this is really how it should be. It's nice to have a simulator that just starts with a very presentable appearance. And while the planes, it doesn't have as many planes that are on the level of study, but this Cessna 172 is not bad at all. Feels good, controls good. I like the way it sounds, and it just handles really nicely. And with the, this is easily, I will say right now, the best VR experience I've had. I've tried VR with Prepared. I've tried it a lot with X-Plane 11, DCS World. It's really good on DCS World too, but this is the best I've had. Everything is crystal clear. I didn't actually know it could get any better than, let's say, X-Plane 11. When I was doing it with X-Plane 11, the textures are good, but they're not like the best. And I was like, oh, this must just be the limits of VR. But now I know when you get into Aerofly, they're even clearer, and the performance is pretty good. I'm running a 1080 Ti 4790K, which I know that system, that sounds like a lot, but with running these other simulators, it doesn't always run it like it's a 1080 Ti, just because of the optimization. but with this, it runs really good. And San Francisco is just ahead. That we're gonna fly over that. It's just, I mean, it's just stunning. If you can get in here with VR, this is just stunning. I really recommend trying this sim out. I mean, I can't wait to see what this develops into. I'm hoping they're going to develop it more. I mean, at night, like the night textures are not that cool. The runways light up, the planes light up, but there's no lighting in the city. So there's little things like that. The water doesn't move. There's no vehicle traffic. There's no boats. But that still does not outweigh the awesomeness of what this looks like. So we're leveling off at 2,000 right now. I just lean the mixture a little bit while we're painting at 2,000 feet. Easy to set up everything too. The only thing that's annoying me right now is every time I open it, I have to set up my controls all over again, which is not too many. You just have to set up the pitch, the ailerons, the throttle, parking brake. There's a whole bunch of other things to set up too, obviously, but those are just the ones I need for the 172 at the moment. Speed brakes and stuff. Well, 172 isn't going to have those, but that comes in handy for the gliders and such. But if nothing else, like I said, this is just a great VR sim. I've never had an experience like this with flight sim. I mean, I really hope they can take this and turn this into something even more. Because even if you just take the planes out of it, the visuals and how it performs is incredible. And I just, I would love to see this turn into something else. So I'm going to support this sim. I'm going to use this more. I mean, and everywhere I've checked out is awesome looking. I will go over to Colorado, I'll go to Telluride. I've never seen Telluride look that amazing, and it's with the base sim. I mean, I've checked out so many different airports around here, and it's all great. You don't really hit an area, I haven't at least so far, hit an area where it's just, flat, dead looking area. Now, not all of the United States is covered, and I think they're still building packs and stuff like that, but for what I have right now, it's entertaining enough to do some flights. So if you guys have any suggestions about anything that's on the West Coast, even Colorado, some flights you want to do, I would love to get the Eagle County. Orbex makes Eagle County, and I can't wait to see what that looks like, because seeing the airports that aren't payware, how incredible those look, and just the scenery, I can't wait to see what an actual payware through Orbex looks like in Aerofly. So maybe we could do Eagle County to Telluride, or Telluride to Eagle County in like a pits or something. I think it would look really cool. We'll get bridges coming up ahead. I gotta find out a way to live stream. This would be fun if I can just get the chat to pop up on the screen, or maybe not even pop up on the screen, but pop up for me in the Oculus. Then I could live stream this. That'd be fun. It's got exterior views and things like that. Just with doing the VR, I'm not really going to do much of that, but it looks pretty cool enough with just the VR. And now I'm just kind of sitting back, just keeping it trimmed at 2,000, trying to anyway, before we turn and come around the bay. But yeah, this is really nice. This is kind of what I think Flight Sim World should have been. I mean, this simulator has jets and stuff, and even though they're watered down versions of those planes, it's still nice to have them, and they still look pretty good. Like I said, with this 172, I'm really happy with that. So I'm thinking if I do anything VR or VFR on my channel, to do it with this. But if you could just take this landscape, the way it performs and the way the land looks, and throw that into another simulator with study level planes and stuff, I really think this formula, I don't know where they got this, if this is a whole new engine, if they built this from, if they started with FSX source code or what, I don't really know, the history behind how they built this engine, but I really like it. I really like how this is. And you know, even though the water is not moving and stuff like that, there's no boats, there's no traffic, like I said, it's still really good. That doesn't really take away anything for me. I mean, you can really just pop your head in here and look at everything. It's so clear. I mean, it may not look as clear on the video because I'm using the Oculus mirror to get this, but through the Oculus it's really clear. I didn't know this kind of clarity was possible. I thought it was just the limits of the Oculus, but now I know it's the limits of the other sims that allow this kind of clarity. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas of some flights I can do with this, some things I can check out, you know, mainly for the visuals, let me know. They have different scenery. They have Innsbruck. They have a New York package. I haven't even checked that out yet. I've been spending my time around here. I think they got mixed field. I can't wait to see what else they have. It's gonna be fun every time a new one comes out. And I like that it's all on Steam. You know, say what you want about Steam, but I do like that it's in one place. You know. So far, no weather engine. You can adjust your own weather, cloud height, and stuff. No rain. Haven't seen any rain. You know, so it's missing stuff like that. But you know, I don't just use one simulator. I haven't been using X-Plane 11 much lately, but you know, I use all of them. They all have their pros and cons. But so far, this one is the most visually pleasing eye candy simulator that I've seen, and it flies pretty good. I do like the sensitivity of it. It's really slight movements. I really like when it's more so like that than having to put large inputs, just slight little inputs. There's the Golden Gate up there, and it looks so real. I just can't get over it. And just how every mountain, like I said, not just the photo scenery, it's that the photo scenery is also going with the land. They have every little bevel that the land needs, and the scenery's in there. So once we go by the Golden Gate Bridge, I see Alcatraz out there. We can do a flyover of Alcatraz, and then we'll go by the city, by the ports. The gliding in this is pretty phenomenal too. Even I checked it out in Tehachapi, California, which is where I actually went gliding, and it looks pretty true to life over there too. Because it is. I mean, it's basically they're taking them, like I said, the photo scenery and plopping it down. I mean, this is the best I've seen it. It's just really cool to see a simulator look like this, you know. Yeah, you won't be able to fly the PMEG and stuff like that, but like I said, they can take this formula and build on it. I mean, look at that! Look down there. And it's even more incredible with the Rift on, because you just peer out the window and, you know, really move your head to see more. It'd be fun to fly around Hawaii, checking out those visuals. Look out there, that is so incredible. Well, let's turn on to Alcatraz and see what that looks like. staying at 2,000 feet. This is where they do the Fleet Week air show. That'd be fun to do in the pits. Do some loops and stuff out here. I just look at what this simulator could be, what this can become. I just like what I'm seeing. That's enough for me within, flight simulation. That when I see progress like this, I don't try to look at these things like what they are now and what it lacks and what it doesn't have. I'm just looking at what I see now and just think about what this could become. Like the boats down there, they don't move. That's actually in the scenery, but it still looks good. Look at Alcatraz. And that's what I mean, when they have a little island or something, it just, the photo scenery wraps around it just perfectly, and the buildings, like, it looks like it's really there. It's nice that we can fly down there and see that kind of detail. That's very cool. So let's come around this way, back towards the city. We'll go over the Bay Bridge. And like I said, down by the ports. But yeah, it's a little disappointing at night. I'm hoping that'll get added later. Have some night lighting. So that would just be the next step. Because when I see this as Aerofly 2, I think, well, what's Aerofly 3 going to look like? That's going to be even better. So I really hope they turn this into something really great. Because this is a simulator I can really get behind and support. And if you have some VR and $60, get this. I mean, you're not going to have to really spend. I mean, this is all with the freeware. I haven't purchased any of the packs yet. And if you're just going to be a VFR person, this is, I think you'll be happy with this. This is going to be really nice to start with. Also, there's an A320 with it. Forgot to mention that. Which is pretty decent. I think, it's got basic systems like FSX, maybe even a little more than what FSX has with those planes. I mean, look at the buildings. I mean, this just shows you what it could look like, to have the graphics looking this nicely, and it's performing so nicely, too. The other simulator, like when I use Prepared, it doesn't even look, not even half this good. And it doesn't even perform this well in the first place. And that's just using dated simulators, which I still love using those. It's just they need to be refreshed. And if you can take this and throw it in that would be great. The city really does look alive. The colors look great. Oh, Vegas is another one that looks really cool too. Now that part of the city's actually lit up in that scenery. I did check that out. So we can fly around Vegas and I'll show you that. I feel like there's just so much to show, so I'm open to suggestions of what you guys would like to check out. So we're going to make our way back to Half Moon Bay. Just fly around the back of that the cliffs over there. I can see this being an excellent trainer simulator. It takes up a lot of space on your hard drive though, just be aware. Like close to 100 gigs. So make sure you have the space. I remember I had just cleaned off my hard drive and then I installed this and I'm like, where did all of my space go? Got like 5 gigs left. I had to install some more things and cleared some room for it, but yeah, it takes up a lot of space. If you guys want a tutorial on how to record this, also let me know, I can do that. Because for a while I didn't know. So it's basically just use the Oculus mirror. And then it helps if you have 2 monitors, because you can put that up on one monitor, have it record it, and then use your other monitor to actually click around and use the simulator. Well, it's not too bad. It's a little slightly pixelated with the mirror. I guess by the way it has to convert it, or however that works, but it gives you a nice wide picture of it instead of the 2 dual lens view. I think a lot of people have started to figure that out now. In the beginning I wasn't really sure how people were recording VR like this. Brings it in a little more. My view is more of, I see more of the cockpit from the front, so it's clipping off a little bit of what I actually see. So you're only seeing like the top of the 6-pack. Once this has weather and more planes, lighting, this can really be something. I'm just really appreciate it for what it is now. And I think they have a pretty significant update coming up, if it hasn't already. Because I saw it on the news for the Steam app news that they have an update coming out. So I might just see what the comments are and then, you know, go from there with what video I make next. Like I said, I might live stream with it. Which the only thing I have to figure out is when using the Oculus how I should go about that, so I can still see the chat and communicate with everybody. I'll probably use the mic built in on the Oculus. It's a pretty easy mic. But they give you enough to play around with, for sure. I mean, there's enough planes to have fun with. And we get to fly around the land looking like this. And you don't have to touch it, you don't have to do anything to make it look like this. That's just even more better. So when you're buying a simulator, it really depends on the person and what you want to do. If you just want to fly and mess around, this would probably be great for you to get. You know, if you want more study level and really you want to, use all the systems of a 737, then you might want to get X-Plane or Prepared. Especially Prepared if you want the PMDG stuff, which will probably be coming to X-Plane eventually. But it's just really up to you. If I had this when I was starting out, I would have been happy with this, just to start with. I just wish I had this, because I'm a big fan of Prepared, just because that's where I have a lot of products for, and I like the camera system and stuff. I just feel like for me to make these cinematic flight sim videos, it's the easiest. software for me to use to do that. Like this wouldn't be, I wouldn't be able to do as much of that with this just because the camera would be a little more limiting, but as just a VR video, this is great, and just having this to start with would be great. So if you're just getting into this, you might want to consider trying this out. Like I said, it always comes down to the individual and what you want to do. You know, but you're not limited to just one sim. You know, you could use all of them if you want. But you might want to try this out. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've not seen it as good as this. Half Moon Bay is right ahead at about 11 o'clock. I'm just gonna go in and land the same runway. We'll fly the, I enter the pattern in just a few. You can also use the hand controls. I haven't tried that yet. That's probably pretty good. But you can use the hand controls that come with the Oculus to flip the switches, probably to grab the yoke and throttles and stuff. I would assume you can grab the yoke with it, but definitely the throttles and all that. So, nothing beats this scenery so far. During the day, this has got to be the best representation of scenery in a simulator. And I think that's what it has above everything else. And then from there, you can go and look at, you know, what it's missing compared to the other sims. But scenery-wise, this is doing it the best. I wish I could have this unprepared. This kind of performance and quality. There's the airport. We're gonna fly by, try to make the 45-degree entry into the pattern. I'm actually not sure if it's a right or left pattern for 3.0. I'm going to assume it's a left, but they wouldn't want you to fly the pattern near the mountain there, but I could be wrong. I didn't look any of it up because this was just a test flight, but I'm just gonna go with the left, which is our right at the moment. When you have VR, I'll tell you your landings are a lot better. Even if you have track IR, landings are a lot better because your peripheral view, you can see things a lot more, how you're lining up with the runway and stuff. So it really helps. So we're lined up, we're going to fly the downwind. Monterey, they also have an airport for that. But I'm really excited about the Eagle County Airport, because that's one of my favorite airports to fly around. So I can just imagine doing Gypsum 5 departure with that scenery. I'd actually love to start covering this stuff more on FSElite, covering Aerofly sceneries, do reviews. Actually, I'm running everything on Ultra and Max, if I didn't mention that, and it's still running very good. That's something I can't do on other simulators. The other ones I have, I can't even run close to max. Well, I take that back. It depends on what plane you're flying, and I always say that. What plane and what airport. You know, each airport is made by a different developer in most cases, and they all perform differently. So it really depends. I'm gonna get a little further out and then turn base. Just want to have enough room. Alright, we'll start base. I guess for videos I could do, I don't know if I'll do full flights like this always, because it's a lot of talking to have to cover, but I can chop videos up a little bit, edit them forward, so we can pick a route. That's something I haven't played around with too much yet either, is the navigation and how that works. I think it's pretty simplistic. It's not too in-depth. But I need to check that out. I just need to spend some more time with it. But this is kind of my first impressions of it as a simulator. Still a little bit high. And we're bringing her in nice and easy. Looking good so far. Getting a little bit off the runway. Now we'll start throttling back. Very nice. Really like how that felt. Really allowed me to pull back on the stick and bleed off that speed. Not bad. For the first trip out, that was pretty cool. So I'll exit here. The strobe and the landing lights off. I run the RPMs a little low, otherwise it wants to taxi pretty fast. Make sure nobody's coming, which they won't be. There's no AI traffic. But it's a habit you want to stay in. But yeah, guys, this was Aerofly FS2. Thanks for coming along on that ride if you stuck around for the whole thing. Appreciate that. But yeah, look forward to more of this on the channel. Open to any suggestions of what you guys want to see, and we'll go from there. So again, thanks for watching, guys. You take care.